Rob, Judy, people may have sticker shock. The Cook County Treasurer's Office has been analyzing the new tax bills and says that citywide, the median residential bill jumped more than 16%. That's the biggest increase in at least 30 years. The Treasurer's Office says city spending increased and there are fewer commercial spaces to pay their share of the pie. Treasurer Maria Pappas says there.
I wonder why that is. I wonder why there are fewer commercial spaces to pay their share of the property tax pie in Chicago. Might it be because the business climate in Chicago is just not conducive for business owners to conduct business in Chicago? Might it be because the Chicago mayor is trying to make it even worse for business owners to open up businesses or continue to do business in Chicago? Might it have something to do with that? I don't know. But this isn't the worst of it. The worst of it is the fact that he has raised property taxes on the same poor people that he says that he is fighting for in the name of illegal immigrants, because he cannot manage a budget to save his life. And now regular Chicagoans are paying for this. But again, I say this every time I make this kind of video. You get what you vote for, and Chicagoans are getting exactly what they voted for, long and hard. That's it. I feel bad somewhat, but not really, because you voted for this.
Has been a sharp drop in the value of downtown commercial buildings, paying about $120 million less this cycle. That's because of higher vacancy rates over the years.
It went down in a landslide, and it's coming back like a snail, slowly, very slowly, and not fast enough to handle these residences who are carrying the burden of it, because many of them are unrented. Many of these places are unrented. The taxes went down. What happened was the residences ended up picking up the bulk of these tax increases.
And the hardest hit, predominantly black and brown communities on the south and west sides. In West Garfield Park, bills soared 133%. North Lawndale saw a 99% spike. And in Inglewood, taxes climbed more than 80%. The treasurer says many of those homes have been undervalued before the most recent assessment, which is done every 3 years. So if you haven't gotten your bill, you can see it now and pay online. Taxes are due December 15th, but if you can't pay right away, you can set up a payment plan, of course, with interest. There is more information on our free news app and our website, abc7chicago.com. But of course, these bills all coming out, you may have gotten them in the mail. If not, you can see them online. People are really struggling, and now this news where taxes are even higher, it's going to be tough.
Imagine that. The incompetent mayor of Chicago has just doubled the taxes of his constituents, the ones that he says he's fighting for the most, just so that he can give kickbacks to the teachers union, which he's part of, and fund illegal immigrant programs. So the hard working taxpayers in Chicago are now footing the bill through property taxes to pay and fund for people who do not pay into the tax system. Let's be honest here. Let's be clear about what's going on here. Mayor Johnson will not serve another term. Chicago already had a disastrous mayor in Lori Lightfoot. She was terrible by all available metrics. But instead of going the sane route, Chicago decided to elect a more terrible, just more incompetent, twice as bad mayor of the city, because he ran on racial politics. That's literally all it is. And look what this racial politics has gotten the minorities there who played into his racial politics game. Again, I feel bad somewhat because I'm assuming not everybody in Chicago voted for this, but majority of the people voted for this. And so I don't feel bad in that regard. Now you have to pay more taxes because you elected a guy who couldn't balance a budget. Mayor Johnson has been nothing but disastrous. And then all he does is, whenever you call him out for it, is claim racism because that's his card. Now, my question is, will Chicago go back to being sane, or will they double down on the insanity and elect a twice as terrible mayor the next go around? We will see. But I'm not at all surprised. I've been covering this story for a while about how they're trying to tax social media companies also in Chicago, and they're trying to tax like corporations, $23 per employee that they hire per month, which is just going to drive businesses away. Who's going to want to hire in Chicago? But this is the way he wants to do it, to try and alleviate his shortcomings, his shortfalls. But I have a video here of the Chicago residents complaining about this tax hike. But you guys shouldn't be complaining because you guys voted for this. He told you he wasn't going to raise taxes, but could you believe a raised grifter and a liar? No, but that's what you get for voting for one.
People have gathered here tonight at Harmony Community Church here in Lawndale as they're trying to light the way to fairness with this bonfire and discussion tonight. Many homeowners across Chicago receiving a hefty property tax increase in the mail, and they're all wondering where that money is going.
How can you maintain your home if your taxes are constantly going up?
Homeowners in Lawndale are searching for answers together tonight about their property tax hikes. Community leaders partnered with the Lawndale Christian Development Corporation to host this bonfire, allowing neighbors to discuss their options. One man says he received a bill this week that was $977 more than what he paid last year.
Tax increase is tied to a TIF that I have no idea why. Ogden Pulaski TIF is collecting money from our neighbors in our streets, but we're not being notified for what or why it's in the bill.
The group discussed a number of solutions for the issue, including an effort to propose new policy, which would be modeled after California's Prop 13. That would limit property taxes to 1% of assessed value, with annual increases capped at 2%. Homeowners are also frustrated because they feel like they're not seeing the tax hikes lead to notable investment in their neighborhoods.
Because they're not leading to notable investments in the neighborhoods. They're being used for illegal immigrants and for the teachers organizations there in Chicago. That's all it is. You are being used so that Mayor Johnson can throw money at his core interests, which are illegal immigrants and the teacher organization in Chicago. I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now. Like I've said in my previous videos, these politicians do not care about you. They will talk nice in your ear. They'll play games. They'll tell you everything you want to hear. And once they get in office, they just stab you in the back. And it's crazy because he's stabbing you in the back for non-American illegal citizens. That's who he's stabbing you in the back for. The crazy thing is that you as a homeowner in Chicago could lose your home to the government if you don't pay that $1,000 extra like this guy said he had in his bill for the year. Imagine losing something you've been paying on for years because you can't afford to pay a higher property tax, especially in this climate where everything is super expensive and everybody is just barely scraping by. And then the government goes ahead and sells your home. And then what happens? Chicagoans need to get smart. But the thing is, I don't even think it's most black Chicagoans. I mean, most of them are going to vote Democrat regardless, correct? But the people that push these politicians and these policies are the liberal white women who don't have to worry about this. They don't have to worry about whether they're going to have to put food on the table or pay their mortgage or pay their property taxes or pay their rent or pay the light bill or pay whatever the case may be. They don't have to worry about that. They live in nice, posh neighborhoods with six-figure jobs, and they can, from afar, tell you what's best for you in your neighborhood from afar, because they'll never be and they never have been in those situations. But they care about you. And so they vote in for the politicians who they think are going to do what's best for you, which ends up usually being a lie.
There's been a divestment in this community for the most part, but it seems like now that people have found an interest in reclaiming the neighborhood, now it's like we're being taxed for prosperity.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas also spoke earlier today on the tax bills while at a Rainbow Push event. She says there are new avenues for homeowners to pay these bills at their own pace.
You do not have to pay your bill on December 15th. Did you hear that? You don't have to pay it. Let me tell you why. We went to Springfield last year and set up a payment plan.
Pappas says you could go online on December 16th and find payment plans for up to 13 months. That's welcome news to these homeowners, but they still want some clarity on those tax hikes.
We understand utilities are going up and things of that nature, but it's a valuation issue. Like, we don't have schools we need, those economics that aren't here, but we're being charged to pay for economics in other people's communities.
Now, some people here tell us they haven't even received their property tax bills yet, but we are told that those are going out around Chicago throughout this week.
Again, that's what you get when you vote in these people who do not have your best interest at heart. And regarding the payment plans, a payment plan doesn't actually fix anything, and I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't alleviate the fact that you still have to pay next year's property tax bill, which is going to be higher anyways. It doesn't fix the problem that the Chicago budget is out of control. They've had their credit rating downgraded because the budget is out of control. And then you have a mayor who's a loser, who just claims racism when people call him out for doing a bad job as a mayor. But that's all I got for this video, guys. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. And if you like what I do here and you want to support my work, I have links in the description box below. Buy me a coffee or send me a Cash App. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.